Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to The Unfolding Truth, a program which demystifies all that were mystified. Today we are going to look into the topic feminism in Christianity and Islam. We may want to know what feminism is, but we are coming to that in a few minutes. But first, I would want to remind you that we carry forward the discussion that we are having today into our Twitter space later tonight. So stay with us. If we may not be at a position of responding to all your questions now, we are going to do that later in the night. Therefore, check on all your social media handles, be it Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all that, at Horizon Kenya, and it will be passing at Horizon TV Kenya. All your Twitter handle, all your social media platforms at Horizon TV Kenya. You will find us there. Today on the show is my brother, Mr. Samuel Mwaura. He is an evangelist, a Christian evangelist who is doing his activities in the country and even beyond. He is trying to bring back morality in this space of religion. My brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana, jisikie ukiwa nyumbani.
Asante sana.
Today we are looking at feminism,
yes,
in Christianity and Islam.
Yes.
And in the recent past,
yes,
there has been a lot of agitation by organizations, both abroad and within, championing for the girl child,
yes,
championing for the women.
Yes.
They want to see and they want to be recognized,
yes,
the women rights, the affirmative action, the gender war, all these gender thing.
Yes.
They have been dominating the air ever since. Yes. And it is now becoming a little bit of a hot potato. Now, we may want to know,
yes,
what is the place of a woman in Christianity and Islam?
Yes.
We, alhamdulillah, in Islam, we are very, very much proud of our women. Very, very proud.
Yes.
First and foremost, they have been given a class above many. A woman in Islam is a queen. She doesn't have to toil up and down looking for ABC. No. As long as the king is there, the king is serving the queen so well. But she's not denied the rights to work. She's not denied the rights to education, the right to own, a lot of things. So in Islam, we see a Muslim woman elevated to a certain level. She is up there. She set the bar too high. We may want to know, yes, in Christianity, how you rate your women, how you treat your women. But all the same, what we want to look into, yes, so deeply, what is her place in Christianity?
A woman in Christianity is central and very important at that.
Yeah.
Women in what I would call redemptive history, as written in our Bible, the 66 books, feature prominently. Even in the Quran, we all agree that our first mother is Hawa.
Yes, Eve.
Hawa, from the word high, or where we get the word life,
yes,
would be translated to mean that she is the mother of all the living. So a woman is very important because she is the one that carries the child. So she literally becomes the mother of the living. And then again, when we read the Bible history, we also see that the woman is created in the image and the likeness of God. That we can read in Genesis 1:26 to 28.
Yes.
That male and female created he, them. So there is no part of inferiority in Christianity for the woman. However, the New Testament admonishes us that we be very careful how we treat the woman, because she is of the weaker sex. Weaker sex physically, not spiritually, not emotionally, but physically. And in order for me to foment my argument about the importance of a woman, I can read what is written in the New Testament, the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, whereby the Apostle Peter, from verse 1 of chapter 3 to verse 10, Peter is talking about husband and wife relations, upon which a man is told to treat his wife well, to speak to his wife well, and to do her good, lest his prayers are not answered. And I can tell you for sure, any person, any man who maltreats his wife, any man who maltreats his woman, there is a way that his prayers are hindered.
Not answered.
Yes, but a man who honors his wife, who work together with his wife, and they are in harmony, their prayers are answered.
But when you say she's a weaker sex, as in, you know, physically,
Yes.
not emotionally or otherwise, we have some very, very strong women.
Yes.
Very, very strong women. Yes. We have somebody like, you know, Zarika, this the boxer. We had Congestina. We have several, even the daughter of Muhammad Ali, and several other women who are very strong physically.
Yes.
You know, where does this leave them? If you say they are weak physically,
Not they could be weak, and sometimes there are exceptions. Like you have said, I remember Mary Mutola from Mozambique.
Oh, yeah, that runner.
That
Mozambique Express.
Yes, Mozambique Express. So when we talk about this weaker sex, we are also talking about the way we handle. It is more of a figure of speech. Yes, there could be stronger women like the ones we have mentioned. But then how do I treat my woman? What are the parameters and to what extent of aggression should it there? If it is, how should I deal with that lady? So it is more of a caveat. It is more of a brick of control of how you deal with this person. You don't just deal with them haphazardly. And I can go back again. When the Bible talks about God being a just judge, when the Bible talks about God fighting for the cause, he does not talk about a widow, but a widow in God's economy is very, very important. So that shows not that she is weak, so to say, because there are women who are even strong-willed than I.
Yeah.
And even some may be even stronger than me physically.
Yes.
But there seems to be something about God and a woman,
Yes.
especially the fact that a mwanaume can nyanyasa this woman. And rarely does it happen the other way. God talks about plead the cause of the widow, not the cause of the widower.
Yeah, because the Quran is also very explicit when it says "Al-rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa." The men are the protectors of the women.
Yes.
In almost all aspects. You see, but I would want you to tell us something about when we read the Bible closely, and we don't hear much about women, as in even when census were being taken, conducted in the past Israel. You know, you rarely heard about women. They were not counted. Why were they not counted? Were they not human enough?
No, they were human beings.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be ascribed to the cultural context, the contextual variable upon which the Bible was written. The matriarchal, the patriarchal aspect upon which the Jewish people were patriarchal in nature, or rather, men featured mostly. But that does not mean that the woman was relegated to the periphery, whereby she would not be allowed to do something. I believe that would be more of a cultural setup, and it had nothing to do with the despising of a woman. Yes.
So even if we read the Bible and we don't see her, so we should just assume she's there.
She is there, only maybe within the economy of God's redemption story, she has not featured. But you see again, there are women that are featured in the Bible. We have Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, we have Salome, who is mentioned in the Bible. We have the mother of John and James. In the Old Testament, we have Ruth, we have Rebecca, we have Sarah, we have Leah and Rachel.
Several of them.
They are there. They are there. We can say they are there.
So you are denying that they are not recognized. Women are not recognized in the Christian movement and the Jewish movement.
Not at all. Women are recognized. It is only that you can recognize me as a human being, but maybe within your interactions and your movements, maybe I'm not featuring prominently, but that does not mean that you don't recognize me.
All right, recognized or not, a woman is an integral part of the society, the community, the family, and therefore we respect you wherever you are. We are going for a short break, but when we come back, we're going to dig deep. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said the believers encourage people to reconcile relations with those who have cut them off. Give charity to those who have deprived them. Forgive those who have oppressed them. Be kind with parents. Uphold family ties. Be kind with neighbors. Be kind with orphans, travelers, and the poor, and to be gentle with servants. They forbid bragging, arrogance, and transgression. They discourage people from feeling superior over others, rightly or wrongly. They enjoin people to use lofty manners and prohibit them from pursuing trifles. All that they say or do from these values and other teachings, in all of it they follow the Quran and the Sunnah. Their path is the religion of Islam with which Allah has sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. From the most interesting things is the alertness of the dying person at the time of his death. For he becomes perceptive to a degree which cannot be described, and worried to an extent that has no limits. And he yearns for his times of old, and wishes that he be left so that he can make up for what passed him by, and so that he can be truthful in his repentance, in accordance with the level of certainty he now has about death. And he, out of grief, almost kills his own soul before its actual death. And if a single atom's weight of these things were found at the time of health and well-being, everything that is intended by doing pious deeds would be achieved. So the intelligent one is he who pictures that hour and acts according to what it requires. And if he is not able to do that, then he visualizes it as much as he is able to, for it will prevent desire's hand and will arouse determination in him. Repel the thought, for if you don't, it becomes an idea. So repel the idea, for if you don't, it will become a desire. So fight against that desire, for if you don't, it will become a determination and a passion. And if you don't repel that, it will become an action. And if you don't replace it with its opposite, it will become a constant habit. So at that point, it will be difficult for you to change it. The Messenger of Allah said, whoever says when the morning comes, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ نَبِيًّا, meaning, I am pleased with Allah as the Lord, and with Islam as a religion, and with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a prophet. Then I am the guarantor that I will take him by his hand until I put him into Jannah.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Honorable Nasra Nanda. I am a member of County Assembly in Nairobi. I'm here to tell you today that Kenyans are suffering, and they are suffering because there's a drought that is affecting so many families, affected and caused by a climate crisis that they have no hand in. For this reason, many families are displaced. Many children are dying. Parents are helpless as they watch their children starve. The elderly are being left behind. This is a humanitarian crisis, and it commands us as Muslims, as human beings, to step up to help our brothers and sisters. Because as it stands, 3.1 million people are displaced, are helpless, and are struggling. They need you, they need me, they need all of us to step up and help them. Please, I implore you to kindly donate and help our brothers and sisters, because every positive change in the world starts with you and me. Shukran.
When you look around, many slaughterhouses, hotels, restaurants, food products in supermarkets, beauty products, and so on have the halal certified tag or seal. How can you be sure that the halal certification is credible? Who ensures that the halal sign or seal can be trusted? How is the process of transporting the halal product from source to destination safeguarded? The Kenya Bureau of Halal Certification will be answering these questions and more during the second Halal Fair on 10th and 11th December 2022 at the Sarit Center in Westlands, Nairobi. The theme will be Halal All the Way. Save the date and see you there.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our program, The Unfolding Truth, where today we are looking at feminism in Christianity and Islam. The championing for a woman, for the girl child, for the women in our society. Where do we put our women? Where do we place them? Do we have a place for them? Why are they, sort of transgressed upon, as some people say? And that will lead me to my next question. Yes. Why do you people think that the Muslim woman is subjugated? Because this is an accusation that has been coming from the secular world for a long time. Yes. And to an extent, the woman in church is also agitating, saying, no, the Muslim woman is so much subjugated. Why? Why? She must be. Why do people say that?
Perhaps this is because of, again, remember the notion we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Where my mind can be fed with a deceptive poison. To think that a Muslim is always oppressive, and oppressive and oppressive and oppressive. And again, I would say that should there be pockets of such, they are not only confined within a specific. If it is Christianity and I'm oppressing my wife, it does not necessarily mean that all Christians oppress women.
Yes.
The same with a Muslim. Perhaps maybe, and you may need to help me in this. There are those people who think that the Muslim woman is subjugated because of the hijab, because of the bui. So they think that they have been told to be like that for
by
purposes of against their will, or by force.
It is very, very unfortunate that
Yes.
they think the same, and that probably they peddle the same propaganda
Yes,
over and over again. But we as Muslims believe, and that is how it is, that our women are emancipated.
Yes.
It is only Islam that has emancipated the woman in history. Because as late as just a few years back, less than 10 years back, the courts of Kenya now gave a verdict on the fact that now a woman in Kenya can now inherit her father's property. Just yesterday, not even 15 years ago. That's laughable. It's laughable because when a woman is born, she has all the rights, all the rights. In Islam, the Quran is telling us in chapter number 81, Surah Al-Takwir, verse number 9. It's a story. It's a story. And Allah is saying, بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلْ. For what reason, for what crime were you killed? And this now backdating to the ancient Arabia. By the time the Prophet was now starting his missionary, his mission, you know, he was born in a people who were so much, you know, retrogressive. People who were like animals, people who did not, you know, care about a woman. And when an Arab, for that matter, when an Arab, you know, bore a female child, she was to be buried, she was to be killed, you see? And now this is the part that now God is now bringing to remind us that they did that. And the day of resurrection, that particular female child, the girl child will be asked, for what reason were you killed? You see that? Now, when he started preaching about emancipating women, he got a big opposition from the Quraysh, from the polytheists of Arabia. And just come back to the United States. Just recently, just a few tens of years back, that's when they now allowed a woman to inherit. They allowed a woman probably now to participate in political issues. But we in Islam, Islam gave the woman the leeway back then. The Prophet himself had a wife, and that wife remains the biggest scholar in Islam when it comes to women. She narrated thousands and thousands of hadith, the teaching of the Prophet. She's the most scholarly one. Two, we had women who participated in war, in as much as they were not combatants, but they were there to give moral support and to sing poems and to do all that and to cook for the army. They were there. We had women who were so much, you know, versed in their thing, in the knowledge, in the sector of poetry. We had one called Khalsa. Khalsa would come and you know, reorganize the poems that were written by the biggest scholars. She says, no, this one doesn't add up, this one doesn't add up. And she reorganizes because of the scholarliness that she has, you see? And unfortunately, as late as, even now as we speak, there is a cultural practice called sati. Sati is practiced in India. And in India, when a man dies, now that woman must die with a man. It is an Indian sort of one of their cultural practices. Yani, without this woman being sick, without her having committed anything, she has to die alongside the husband. That is one. The husband is allowed to pass any verdict on the woman as long as she has wronged her. So the husband can decide that the woman must be killed, his own wife. Now, this is happening in the world today. In Japan, they also have their own, very, very weird sort of. Now, if we look at all these cultures against Islam now, then we find Islam is the most proactive when it comes to feminism. It is the most, you know, open-minded when it comes to treating a woman. But of course, the propaganda must always be there. They will always talk anything about Islam. Now, coming to the hijabs and the buibuis. A woman is decent when she's decently dressed, you know. One time I was in a seminar, and one of the scholars, you know, he gave some sweets, you know, these confectionaries. He gave it out, you know, to be dished around, And one was in, okay, they were all being passed around in plates, but some of them were were still wrapped, Others were open, you see. And then people were picking. And mark you, all the open suites were taken back. Why? Nobody is ready to pick that open, because we tend to think that, you know, some jams have, it's now contaminated.
Yes.
But you take something that's still wrapped, that you unwrap yourself. Now, in Islam, we believe, and it's our teaching, it's a theological teaching, that a woman must dress decently. When she's decent, she's, you know, she holds her integrity intact. And she can walk around in front of her father, and there's no problem. She's very comfortable. She can sit around near her father, her brothers, no problem. Even in the presence of other people, because she's nicely dressed. But when she's dressed in those small stuff or tight-fitting stuff, then of course she is going to be uncomfortable. All the time she'll be pulling, and it's not good. So theologically, Islam wants a woman to dress nice, and it is not imposed on her. And if it is any sort of imposition, then it is God himself who actually advised them to dress so. Because in Surah Al-Ahzab, it should be verse number 56 or so, God tells the Prophet himself, Ya ayyuhan nabi, you Prophet, kulli azwajika wali banatika wa nisa'il mu'minin yudnina alayhinna min jalabibihin. O Prophet, proclaim this to your wives. Kulli azwajika, to your wives. Wali banatika, and your daughters. Wa nisa'il mu'minin, and all the women, the Muslim women. You know, they should dress, you know, they should cover themselves neatly, okay, with integrity, not like, you know, okay, what is mentioned here is jilbab, min jalabibihin, okay. Now jilbab is a big cloth, a big dress that covers the whole body, so that her shape is not, you know, displayed. And when her shape is displayed, we are men, we know what we are. We are real easily affected by sight. When you see, and you tend to, you know, you ask yourself several questions. Like my friend, the late Wahome Mutai used to say, the responsibility of a man is to study the geography of a woman and comment on it. You see that? That is his literary work. But again, we are not allowed to look at a woman directly and start commenting on her. This will happen when she's badly dressed, when she's semi-nude. And this is a problem. This is now where the rapists also come in. I don't say a rapist will only rape you when you are badly dressed. No. Rape is some sort of a disease in the heart. They rape even old women. Old women. But you run a high risk of being raped when you are badly dressed. So in Islam, as I conclude, Islam has emancipated a woman. Islam has given her a choice. This is your dress. Put it on. But you are not subjugated. You feel free in it. And that is why a Muslim woman will clad her bui, will clad her jilbab, will clad even her, you know, face veil. Yani wholeheartedly without feeling oppressed in a way. So it is a propaganda when somebody says that Muslim women are forced to dress that way. It's so bad. But again, it makes me think. When they come to church, the Christian woman, when she comes to church, and it is like, hey, how will it be? What is the church saying about their dress code today?
The Bible is very clear. Decency. And actually the same chapter that we talked about, that is in 1 Peter chapter 3, the woman is told to clad the inner qualities of a quiet spirit. An example of a woman of faith is given, that of Sarah, who called her husband Lord. Meaning that even in Christianity, those women that clad badly when they are going to church, it is they are not representative of anybody. They are not representative of Christianity. In fact, Christianity, and especially the letters of Paul, tells the ladies to be decent. Talk about decency, more than any other. Because they knew, God knows, that when I see some semi-nude woman, my mind will be poisoned.
Yes.
And given occasion is when I can do that which is not right.
Yes.
So even in biblical Christianity, a person who subscribes to true biblical Christianity, they will be very decent. And then there is this saying that goes, we had talked about minerals some minutes ago, and anything that is of precious or value, greatest value, is that thing that which you will need and get.
You sweat for it.
You sweat. But now when a woman comes wearing some dress that reaches here,
it's all exposed.
it is exposed.
Yeah.
And you see now it creates some illusions of lust.
Yeah.
And this is where even the uncontrolled human nature can do harm. And anybody who will wear like that, that is somebody who does not value who they are.
And it is very, very unfortunate when
Yes.
somebody clad in that
Yes.
is now claiming to be preaching the word of God.
Yeah,
It's really
I would not even listen to them, because I would think that they are literally becoming fishers of men, not in evangelism, but fishing men,
Yes.
so that they satisfy their own lusts.
We are not going to allow to be fished. We are going to stay put, and we are going to mind our businesses.
Yes.
Whether or not you pass around, we are going to mind our businesses. And as we mind our business, let's go for a commercial break. We'll be back in a short while. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
the Quraysh, they were in a room, and Shaitan told, he heard what the Quraysh were talking about. The Quraysh, one of the people of Quraysh, a very bad person, his name is Abu Jahl. His name is Abu Jahl stood up, he was very bad. He didn't love Prophet Muhammad. He stood up and he said, I know you are all afraid of admitting the truth, and I am here, and I tell you that we have to agree to kill Prophet Muhammad, to kill Prophet.
on the next episode.
Na siku zote tahadhari sana. Shetani ni mbaya, shetani ni muovu. Ikhwata al-iman, utamwona akupambia. Utamwona mtu atakapokuwa ana jini, utamsikia mimi nataka kile, mimi nitatoka, lakini mpewe hiko, lakini mpewe kile, lakini au utaona wengine msikia mtu anasema ampandisha, mimi sitoki kwa huyu. Kwa nini wewe hutoki kwa huyu? Huyu acha swala. Sitoki mimi mpaka nihakikishe ataswali. Akiacha kuswali mimi nitamwadhibu huyo. Tena tutasikia tutasema, mashallah ana jini mzuri.
On the next episode.
I used to assist so many students because when I was going to study in Malaysia, I didn't get proper advice from anyone about the university or anything. So I was actually swindled $200 here in Kenya by some hustler.
I'm interested to know if it works the other way around. Do you get people from abroad to come to universities in Kenya?
You know, it would be amazing. Like at the end of the day, not to say that Kenyan education is not good, but it's not the best, you know, like to be honest, compared to the quality standard there. So many people prefer to go there. But an opportunity I see for Kenya is maybe training English. So maybe we can become like South Africa or Cape Town, where now, you know, we can attract the Congolese students, the Ugandan students, Ethiopian students, South Sudan students. They all feel like Kenya. To be honest, we're better at English as compared to other destinations.
Katika kipindi kijacho,
watu 700 wamebakia, jeshi 3000 mbele yao, wana ngamia 3000, wana farasi 700, wana dir'i 700, wana watu waliokuja farasi 200. Hali kama hiyo ikaleta uzito. Baadhi ya Waislamu na waumini wakaanza kuogopa walipoona watu wanaanza kwenda 300, jeshi imepungua. Kabila mbili walitaka kwenda zao, wakaona hapa sisi tutaenda kuuawa, kwa hivyo wacha turudi. Mwenyezi Mungu akawahifadhi, Mwenyezi Mungu akawahifadhi. Saa zingine fitna ikitokezea, kuna watu Allah na wahifadhi wasiteleze.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our show. Let me remind you that we are carrying forward the discussion to our Twitter handle at night tonight at Horizon Kenya, at Horizon TV Kenya. You will find it there. My brother, before we went for a break,
Yes.
we were looking at
Yes.
the decency of a woman.
Yes.
And we agree, we are in unison,
Yes.
both Muslims and Christians, and I believe any other civilized people, they will always want their women to be decent.
Yes.
But now, as they agitate in the world, the Muslim perspective of this is that we really want to give a woman space. She needs to exercise her freedom. She needs to exercise her capacity to, build the community, capacity to explore, capacity to do A, B, C, D. And there are some few women in the world arena who have brought massive change.
Yes.
Massive change. And that is why Islam doesn't limit a woman to her bedroom and her kitchen and her house. No. We let the woman, explore whatever she can explore, but within the limits of religion. Okay? Because, for example, even if she is to work in an office, she's not refused to work. She can work in an office, but when she works, she must, try to maintain some distance, and as she interacts with the male factor, you see that. So there are those limits. She knows, a Muslim woman knows. But again, the space of a woman in world arena today, for example, politics, what does Christianity say about her participation in such?
Well, Christianity brings in the picture of God's creation a woman, like the Apostle Paul would say, or rather, there is no male nor female as far as God is concerned.
Yes.
So a woman who feel called to work even in politics, like now, yesterday, I think there is a woman called Liz Truss who became the Prime Minister of Britain.
Yes.
And of course, Britain, as we know it, is a Christian nation, meaning that there is no fettered position upon which a woman, if she says that she has her ambitions or aspirations, is told to stop. So just like in Islam, a woman is given prominence and is allowed to dream and even to become what she desires to be, as long as within the confines of the truth and the revealed truth that God has revealed in the Bible. As long as that woman is doing those things that are right, that woman is not stopped by anybody.
But if we were to look at it from the biblical aspect,
yes,
is it not subjugation if we may brand a woman as the source of sin, as in our mom Eve or Hawa, that she was the source of evil on earth, and therefore she deceived Adam and all that, and therefore a woman today is like, you should not even take her advice and all that. Don't you think this particular verse, if we may look at it, don't you think it is like subjugating this woman?
Not at all. That would be what I would call irresponsible exegesis. Looking at the verse, both literally and historically, it does not talk about the subjugation of the woman. It is reporting of that which happened, that the serpent came and found the woman. And then the serpent asked the woman, has God said? And then many other things follow. But to use that verse that a woman, you cannot listen to what a woman says because of that, that will be irresponsible exegesis. And it does not teach that.
Don't you think it has really reflected in our, because we are Africans and Africa is our business.
Yes.
Don't you think our cultures, you see, because back home in our tribal setups, it is hardly, you will hardly find a woman in the assembly of men, probably giving an advice or something. Do you think it is because of that? Are they relating to that, or they have something else?
I would tend to think that cultures sometimes are neutral. It could be the human conscience carrying it forward, historically speaking, that it is the woman that was deceived, not Adam. Only that after the deception of the woman, she comes and brings that which she was deceived about. But then cultures molding themselves and developing, others are patriarchal, others are matriarchal. So the patriarchy aspect of culture should not tie anybody, such that a woman should not be should be told keep quiet and shut up. In fact, there is something about a woman that is very unique. A woman will see something that I don't see. A woman will know when her child is in trouble, and she will take it upon herself. I would know that there is an issue that is happening, but I will not be able to bring it out as a woman. So some of these cultural things I would because it's like now I would ask, in your religion whether there is a woman who is an imam. And of course there is an ideological explanation as to why they are none and they cannot be. So even some of these cultural issues, sometimes we allow something to be the way it is, not because we are in absolute agreement with it.
Yes.
But because once we start offsetting, we might open some Pandora box and this perpetuity of issues, cyclic redundancies that will make us not progress even in an inch.
When you talk about, her place and that in Islam, probably they are not allowed to be imams or that, I may want to clarify that a woman can be an imam to her fellow women.
To her fellow women, yes.
When they are assembled probably in a hall or something, and time for prayers, reaches, she is allowed to lead her fellows in prayer. But she cannot be an imam, including all men. Okay, that is in a mixed up gathering. That cannot happen, you see, because of reasons A, B, C, D. And Paul is writing in the 1 Corinthians, if I'm not wrong, when he says, I'm not giving a woman any authority to teach in church. If she wants to learn something, she should ask her husband back at home. Okay, I would want your commentary on that. But before you come to that, Islam has seen some of the mightiest women who have championed for very, very beautiful things, you know. In Pakistan, we had Benazir Bhutto, who was the prime minister. When the world thought that a Muslim cannot be elected a leader, she was elected a leader. In Yemen, we had another one who was a Nobel laureate. And in Sudan, just a couple of years ago, a lady, 21 years of age, so young, but she managed to lead an agitation. She championed for an agitation, and Omar al-Bashir is out of power. You see that? And she is the face and remains the face of the revolution in Sudan. She's called Al-Salah. She was only 21 years back then. Now, a woman, if she knows her place, they should come out and take their place in the society. But I think the past subjugation, because there has been, you know, history is here with us, and they have been, you know, sort of, you know, subjugated, yes, and culturally, and, you know, don't you think it is high time they come out and claim their place in the society instead of blaming men and blaming establishment that, you know what, you don't want us to be what. And I would want to see a female president in Kenya soon. I don't know what you guys say as church, but I would want to see a female president in Kenya. Can it happen?
It can happen. I don't know how, but it can happen. And it is high time.
You will not bring her down.
And it is high time women stood up and said that we are created with the same capabilities, mental capabilities, or the immaterial capabilities that men have. So if a woman is very good at something, let her come out and shine and give the world that which the world needs from her, which nobody else apart from that woman can give. So they should not be afraid. They should come up. If a woman is a scientist, she should not be dissuaded, because one of my desires is to see women excel in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I would want to see a woman who is doing very well. For instance, I have a niece of mine who is doing engineering. I have a niece who is studying engineering, and she's very passionate about engineering. So if we dissuaded her and told her that you can only do arts, you cannot do mathematics, you cannot do science, you cannot do technology, you cannot do engineering, we shall have been killing her. So it is high time women know that they are created in the image and the likeness of God. They have immaterial qualities that every other person has, including men, and they should not be tied by stereotypings. They should not be tied by those notions that a woman can only, the best place for that woman is in the kitchen when she's making kaimati or chapati or biryani. They should not be told that your only place is when unatandika kitanda. They should be told that you can go out there and become one of the best surgeons. I know one of the best dental surgeons in Kenya is a Muslim girl who operates from the University of Nairobi, Nairobi Hospital and Gertrude Hospital. She's a Muslim, she's a young girl. So, and there are also Christians who are doing the same.
So it's not only being a slave queen and
you know, not about slave queen, tattooing the legs, the thighs and all that. No.
They are better than that.
They are better than that. They can be an engineer. They can be a designer. They can be architects. They can be medical doctors. They can be professors. They can be teachers. They can be nurses. And every other profession that is noble.
We encourage the girl child, the woman in the society, that it is your time. Come out. Claim what belongs to you. Nobody is subjugating you. Nobody is stopping you from doing anything. Nobody is stopping you from excelling in the spheres of education or engineering or whichever faculty. You are allowed, and it is a fair competition. Even in politics, you are allowed to come out and do what you can do better. Otherwise, we are only louding the voice. We give you space and we champion for you. Nobody is subjugating you. We want to see you excel. I was your presenter, Omar Al-Bashir, as we were looking at this topic, and because we cannot exhaust everything, we are waiting for you in the evening on our Twitter space as we dissect more. My brother Samuel will be there, and I'll be there, and several other more. My brother, your parting shot, 30 seconds as we leave.
Women are central and integral In my faith, Christianity, they are integral in the salvation story. A woman has capabilities like that of men, and they should be respected, they should be encouraged, and they should not be given some bottlenecks of not excelling. Go, go, go and excel.
Go and excel. It is indeed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Until we meet next time.